Cowboys, Eagles, Sunday Night Football, and $100,000. Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Jason Mattis with Winning Bets. Thanks for hanging out with me on this episode. That's right, it's the Cowboys versus the Eagles on Sunday Night Football, and thanks to the NBC Sports Predictor app, we've got a chance to win $100,000 if we can correctly answer 7 questions. If we're unable to do that, the group, and everyone else is also able to do or unable to do that, the group of people that get the most points will split a $5,000 guaranteed prize. We've got the 2-5 Cowboys versus the 2-4-1 Eagles, and if you're wondering why this video is coming out a little bit later than what it normally does, that's because I was waiting on the injury news of Miles Sanders, which we got word on Friday that he was going to be inactive for this game, which we thought that was going to be the case, but we just wanted to make sure because Boston Scott is featured in these questions here, so we really need to know what the status was of Miles Sanders. And then the other thing I was worried about, or not worried about, waiting to see on was Andy Dalton, right? Were we going to get Andy Dalton or Ben DiNucci? It was looking like we were going to get Ben DiNucci, but just wanted to confirm that. Adam Schefter just tweeted out news that Andy Dalton is not going to be available for this game. So jumped on in here now. I had all the research done. Again, was just waiting on those 2 pieces of information. The big question is now is, with Ben DiNucci being a 2020 7th-round draft pick, how much do you really adjust the numbers, or do you just handicap it based on the datas and the numbers and what they say? So kind of tough to break this matchup down because of him, but I think we've done it here successfully. So let's go ahead and see these 7 questions and see how we'll do it to see if we can win $100,000. All right, so question 1 is Carson Wentz total yards and total TDs. Look, he passes 278 per game. He chips in with another rushing of 26 per game, so that's a total of 304. He averages 2.1 TDs per game, both passing and rushing. The Cowboys have about an average pass defense, but they have the worst run defense in the entire National Football League. I think that's going to be a game plan that the Eagles want to take advantage of, that rush defense there for the Cowboys. If you combine that with what I think the game plan will be, with also I think the Eagles will win this game. I don't think that's too big of a shocker, but I think late in the 3rd quarter and 4th quarter, they could really start leaning on that run game because I think the lead could be a pretty substantial size, so they take the ball out of Wentz's hand and put it on the ground. I think because of those 2 factors, I'm going to lock him in at 250 to 274 yards, and I'm going to give him 2 touchdowns. All right, so for question 2, who's going to score the first TD? I didn't even waste my time looking up Cowboys players. Look, that's how much I think the Cowboys are going to get, really handled in this game and really going to get beat up by the Eagles. So didn't even waste my time looking up the stats for the Cowboys players. Boston Scott for the Eagles, he's got 1 TDs. His numbers are a little bit lower because he's been the backup to Sanders, so that's why I only got 1 TD. Travis Fulgham, though, he's got 3 TDs, but he's 2nd in the team in targets, and he's 3 behind the leader in targets. Greg Ward, he's got 3 TDs. He is the leader of the team on targets. And then any other player there for the Eagles, there's 8 rushing and 3 passing TDs, and all those 3 of those passing TDs go to the tight ends. I'm going to go ahead and take any other player here because, look, I think because the Eagles are going to be run heavy in this game, you don't know which running back may be in the game based on, usage there with Boston Scott. Also, we know Carson Wentz is a runner. He's run multiple touchdowns in on this season. And then if they throw the ball, look, the tight ends have 3 touchdowns on the tight end if they get in the goal line there. So go ahead and give me any other player here for first touchdown. For the Eagles, any other player? Question 3 is Amari Cooper receiving yards and reception. He averages 83 yards per game. He averages 7.5 receptions per game on 10.2 targets per game. The Eagles already had the 7th best pass defense in the league. I think you combine that really good pass defense with, Ben DiNucci. What do you want to do? Let's just say even though, tight end's a best friend of a rookie quarterback, also a running back, but I'll just go ahead and take away his number 1 threat. I think the Eagles are going to want to do that. They're going to want to shut down Amari Cooper and make DiNucci go in other places. So I've got him at 50 to 74 yards and 4 to 5 receptions. What's going to be the total points in the 2nd quarter? The Cowboys are allowing a league worst 34 points per game. The Eagles are scoring 28 points per game. The Cowboys score 25 per game. The Eagles score 23 per game. If we look at just the 2nd quarter, which is what this question is, the Cowboys are scoring 7.7 points per game. The Eagles are scoring 6.1 points per game. I'm going to lock in on 11 to 13. To me, this was maybe of the 7 the toughest or maybe second toughest question. So give me 11 to 13 points. I think they'll all be by the Eagles too. I think they get a touchdown and 2 field goals, or maybe a touchdown and field. Maybe the Cowboys can get one, but either way, 11 to 13 is how I got that one. Tough question, followed up by what I think is the toughest question of all. What's the most total yards in the third quarter? Because they ask you about a singular quarter. We've done good on this question when they ask you for an entire game basis, but when they focus in on one quarter, makes it really tough. But let's see what we can do. Zeke averages 95 a game. Amari Cooper's at 83 a game, as previously said. CeeDee Lamb's at 73 a game. Boston Scott's at 29 a game, but again, his numbers are lower just due to being a backup for most of the season. Travis Fulgham's at 89 a game, and Greg Ward's at 33 a game. I'm going to go ahead and lock in on Boston Scott. I think they're going to be run heavy. Coming out of halftime, you know he's going to be the primary back because they won't have to rest him at all, so he should be getting the load coming out of halftime and in the third quarter. And then if they switch to a run-heavy approach, I like Boston Scott again right there. So go ahead and give me Boston Scott. What's going to be the longest play of the game, passing or rushing? Well, I looked up every single game for the Eagles and every single game for the Cowboys and looked up the longest pass for the Eagles and against the Eagles, and then for the Cowboys and against the Cowboys. The Eagles average for them is 51 yards in those 7 games. The Eagles against is 45 yards. The Cowboys' average longest play for them is 40 yards. They've given up on average of longest play of 50. So you combine the 4, that comes out to be 45 yards. Do combine the against, that comes out to be 47 yards. Obviously, if you average those, that's going to be 46 yards. So go ahead and lock me in at 45 to 49 yards. And question 7 is always who's going to win and what's the margin of victory. You guys know I'm obviously on the Eagles. As for the margin of victory, the line's at Eagles minus 9.5. I think it's going way over this. You factor in a terrible defense. You factor in an Eagles team that is actually pretty good. I mean, yeah, record-wise, they're not good, but they have talent. They're getting healthy. They're getting Jalen Aguilar back. They're getting Jason Peters back, so they're starting to get healthy. You got Ben DiNucci going on up there. Nobody can really expect that much from him. 7th-round draft pick in 2020, unless you went to JMU or really know JMU. It's not like this guy's, you've heard of him. He's going to set the world on fire. I've got Eagles winning this game by 17 to 18 is how I see it unfolding. And that's how I'm going to submit my answers for a chance to win $100,000 on the NBC Sports Predictor app. This was the contest, if you guys remember, on week 1, Cowboys versus Rams. We got to cash. Let's see if we can cash again. I'm Jason Mattis, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching this episode of Winning Bets. I'm Jason Mattis. I'll see you again when we are celebrating the wins and making more winning bets. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more winning bets.